Welcome to The Young and the Restless. I'm Victor.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Olivia. And this is the podcast where I'm fun. I'm fun.
Now I lay me down to sleep. I dreamt I had a soul to keep. And if I die before I wake, will that dream just go on for its own sake?
As soon as I hit that record button, all the thoughts just fall out of my head.
Yeah, we do kind of hit that button and then just stare at each other for a good 10 seconds.
Yeah, we have no problem with like housekeeping stuff and how's it goings before that. Because you don't have to worry about being interesting when it's just
I'm never worried about being interesting.
not even on a podcast. Fuck them.
That's
Who cares?
been
What
my
gives?
motto recently.
I do feel like we've been doing this long enough, Zach, now that I feel like we can enjoy a comfortable silence. But that's not good for podcasts. It's good for our relationship as
friendship.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, let's just put on some music and just chill.
Yeah, we don't always have to do something, guys. We can
Yeah.
just hang out,
We don't
you
have to
know?
make plans. We can just parallel play.
Right.
Enjoy each other's company. do
Parallel
our own
play.
thing. Yeah.
That sounds like a sex thing.
It does. It sounds kind
It
of
is,
kinky,
but it's an
doesn't
autism thing. It's like when you like to do your own separate activities
No,
together.
Yeah,
You know?
I got it, but it also made me think of, Jack and Jilling off in the same room.
it?
But I didn't know that was a term, parallel play. I was trying to come up with something like that the other day because Shelby and I were, working on our own stuff in this tiny little room of mine, and I called it independent enrichment. And she was like, "All right, guidance counselor."
Yeah, no, that's called parallel play.
Yeah,
We love it over here. It's a favorite.
sexier than independent enrichment.
My therapist said I'm not playful, and I disagree. That's a topic
rude.
of conversation.
How fun are you supposed to be in therapy?
Okay, it was.
Are they allowed to say stuff
She
like
was
that?
She was like running me through a questionnaire. We're talking about attachment styles, and she was running me through this questionnaire, and it was like 40 questions, and the only one, like, I was saying yes, no, yes, no. The only one she stopped me on was, she goes, do you consider yourself to be playful? And I said yes, and she goes,
Guess
I
again.
wouldn't say that I experience you as a playful person. And I was like,
Fucking
what?
real talk from
What?
a therapist.
I asked Victor, I was like, do you think I'm playful? Like, I think I'm quite playful.
And he was like,
And she was like, I don't know about that. She's like, well, do you like board games? I was like, I love board games. We play board games all the time.
And she's like,
okay.
really?
I can't picture
All
that.
right.
Is
I'm
playfulness
like, what am I supposed to be doing in therapy? Am I supposed to come in and like entertain you?
is playful in this context supposed to mean like fun and bubbly and jokey, or is it supposed to mean like engages in play?
Well, it's that. I asked her that, and her example was like you wouldn't like board games, right? Which is just funny because
Yeah, don't you guys
that's
have a
something-
board game night?
I love board games.
Fair-
We play board games all the time.
Your husband made a board game.
Yeah.
Well, not successfully, but
Yeah, but she wouldn't have married a board game nerd if she wasn't playful.
I'm
That's true.
very playful.
So goddamn fucking playful.
mm,
The silliest goose you ever met, goddamn it.
She didn't question me on anything else.
We all
Yeah, I
we all
guess I'm
think you're
too
playful,
serious when I go into therapy. I think I'm too serious in there. I think I gotta lighten up when I go in.
how does it feel to know your therapist has no interest in hanging out with you?
Yeah. We're literally not allowed to.
Yeah, but like if they could, she wouldn't want to.
You know, I don't think I actually have any feelings about that. That's okay.
What if you
I don't mind
What
that.
if you found out that your therapist had a regular game night with all of their other clients except you?
Yeah.
She's starting a group therapy with her other clients. I am invited to that though.
Mm.
Oh,
I'm
they
gonna
can,
go.
you're allowed to do that?
I think it's like, yeah, I think she must be. Yeah.
It doesn't.
If you sign up for it, yeah.
I
It's
guess
not like
so,
she's
yeah.
like,
soliciting,
yeah.
Here's the list of all my other patients and their addresses,
and their
just so
ailments.
you know what you're getting into. Yeah.
And their diagnosis.
Yeah. Brad,
And my
BPD.
personal opinions about them. This little note next
Brad,
to Olivia's
BPD.
name. Not fun.
Brad, BPD, chronic cheater.
303.
Olivia, not playful, avoidant attachment style.
Phone number. Yeah, I don't know. That is my one line in therapy when I've been in it is role playing. So I feel like a therapist would classify me as not playful either, because that is all the other. I'm willing to get into whatever else a therapist wants to do to get to the gooey caramel
You don't
center
like
of my
the
brain.
Gestalt stuff.
Yeah, it's fun when we do it, but I mean the Gestalt.
Yeah, that's what my therapist always calls the role playing stuff.
I mean, yeah, I don't like the improv stuff in therapy. When they're
I
like,
don't like it either. It's really uncomfortable,
Like,
but I still do it
all right, stand up from the couch. Now you be.
because I'm fucking playful.
I'm gonna be your boss, and I'm gonna say, I don't want to. Like that doesn't work for me.
Yeah, it's vulnerable.
Well, I'm overthinking it. I'm like going full method and trying to figure out like how to embody the character of me, and like that gets in the way of my thinking about therapy.
You need a director in therapy to like help you figure out your motivation.
Yeah, I need-
help you be a better version of yourself.
I need like a Glenn Close acting coach.
What?
Glenn Close, isn't
What?
that the famous improv teacher?
When I hear Glenn Close, I'm thinking of like a woman that I think did like dramatic acting.
I'm going to the Google. Yeah, she's an actress. I thought she also taught acting like famously, or was like the
She might. Shit.
like the pioneer of an acting method or something. I don't know.
Totally could be. I just have never heard about it.
Anyway, I don't like role playing in therapy.
I'm so curious now. Okay, I gotta find
I looked
out
it up.
this Glenn
All I got
Close
was
stuff.
results about her acting career.
Okay. Well, okay, so it needs to be you, your therapist, and Glenn Close. Maybe Glenn Close needs to like shadow you for a while, like follow you as you're doing your day job, maybe like tries out being you, like just to like really get a feel for the character. And then you'll have that big breakthrough you've always been trying to have. And a big break. Your acting career.
That's mostly what I'm trying to get out of therapy.
Did I ever tell you guys about my butt-to-butt therapy dream?
No, you alluded to it.
Yeah, I think it just never came up, but I had a dream where like we were in like a group therapy session, but like the whole shtick was that you had to like pair up, put your feet together, and like scoot your butts in as close as possible so that like basically your assholes were kissing. And then like and then you did therapy.
Yeah, I mean, you can't get much more vulnerable than that.
Yeah, it'll do something to you.
I think I was thinking of Del Close.
I haven't heard of that person.
I don't.
So that sounds right.
I believe you.
Yeah.
I need to stop researching improv and focus on the pod.
Maybe we should do more like improv games on the pod. Shake it up.
We did one time. We did like a round robin storytelling thing, and then that's my favorite episode that we've done so far.
Oh
We
yeah,
had
the one where we never
Chat GPT interpret the dream.
the
We
one
had
where
no dreams.
we never did an actual dream.
I think it's episode 21. I
Maybe-
think that's our goofiest episode.
Maybe that's what we should do today. Even though we have multiple dreams to get into
We have so many
Yeah, we're
dreams. Yeah.
dream rich today. Can't squander it.
with our own dreams. We do.
It does feel like you got to do them immediately.
Someone should
or you're
write
just-
in.
Yeah, someone should write it. We should really start pushing people to do that.
I mean, we have a lot of our own dreams. We're learning about ourselves. It's all good. But if you're sick of hearing us talk about ourselves, thejungandtherestlesspod at gmail.com.
Yeah. Write in. Tell us your dream. We will not say your name
Unless you,
unless you
Really
want
want
us
us
to.
but we don't recommend it.
Yeah, I wouldn't put myself out there like that.
You know how boring our email is? It's all just like emails from WordPress.
Yeah,
Yeah.
telling us that someone's trying to hack our website.
I'm looking at it right
Yeah.
now. We will, poke and prod around in your psyche, and we're not qualified, but we will be as harsh as Olivia's therapist and tell you whether or not you're playful.
I'm fucking playful, okay?
Relax. We were just kidding around.
You know, I was listening to our most recently aired episode today, and it was kind of funny, like hearing Victor get defensive about being referred to as a Bigfoot guy. And that reminded me of how like wildly offended Olivia got when I called her a horse girl. And it's only a matter of time before we find the thing that like gets me riled up.
Have we not done that yet?
Oh,
It feels
now
like
I
we
wanna-
definitely would have done that by now.
The identity that like is so clearly me, but I vehemently deny.
I feel like you might actually get mad if we touch on it.
Yeah, I might not be as playful as you. I don't know what that is, because it's inherently a blind spot. You can't like identify that in yourself because it's it's a matter of denial.
The horse girl thing comes with a lot of assumptions that
So does
This is
the
what I'm talking
Bigfoot
about.
guy thing.
It's the denial that I'm talking about. Yeah, the thing that like you don't want to be associated with because of like the associations you have in your head. It doesn't mean you're like those other people. You just have an affinity for horses or Bigfoot. For me, it's probably something like pro wrestling.
What?
Yeah, I watch a lot of pro wrestling,
You do?
but I'm not a wrestling guy.
Like what? Like WWE? Is that what that is?
That's one of the entities out there. It's not my favorite.
That's I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, it doesn't come up a lot.
I don't think that's it. You willingly offered that up. That's definitely not
Yeah,
it.
that's a red
You're
herring.
still in your comfort zone.
Yeah, I'm throwing you
That's
softball
right
pitches.
in your comfort zone.
Yeah, we'll find it.
It's probably just that I'm like a pretty cool guy.
That's my thing. Well, that's the thing. No, I don't think I mean, I like wrestling, but there's like, I guess that's why I compare it to like cryptid guys or horse girls, because it's not like you can be into those things and it's cool, but like you maybe don't want to be associated with everybody who's into it, because there are a lot of assumptions.
I do think like if I was older or lonelier, like if life really went in a weird direction for me, I could see myself getting into like the Bigfoot community.
He already is.
Those people are fun. They just go out and like drink beer in the woods and act like they're hunting for like a great ape.
Yeah,
And play with their stupid
Is that
fucking
what you thought I
Bigfoot
meant when
detector.
I said that you were into Bigfoot?
No, but I'm saying those people seem like a good time to me.
yeah, that's the
Like,
logical extension of that association.
You're gonna really like perfect your Bigfoot call.
I'm saying that if you died,
Yeah, you'd get really weird and you'd be like an actual Bigfoot guy.
that's one of the few directions I could go in that aren't like just like super depressing.
Right.
Only mildly depressing.
Yeah, that's only a little depressing.
You make a few.
There's community there.
Yeah, no, that is attractive to me because I've always wanted to go hunting without killing an animal.
Yeah, same kind of
You
premise,
should
right?
get into ghost hunting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Ghost hunting is just hunting for vegans.
Man, I have looked at the price of ghost hunting equipment on Amazon. It's not that expensive.
Not that bad. Okay, that's not what I thought you were gonna say. I thought it was gonna be like outrageous.
No, but getting ghost hunting equipment is like getting your first tattoo. It's like it might not be that expensive, but you're committing to being a certain type of person.
Right.
That's really the down payment that you're putting down as a person who
At
has.
least you can get rid of it. You could sell that.
That's true. You can't clear it from your Amazon purchase history, though.
No. Amazon will always know what kind of person you are.
Can you sell it? Have you ever seen used Bigfoot detection equipment?
Is there
Floating
specific
around out there?
equipment for Bigfoot?
That is a sad short story. Someone gave up the quest.
Lightly used Bigfoot tracker.
I do like falling asleep to those documentaries. Just guys in the woods looking at an indentation in the grass for like an hour and a half. Being like, oh yeah, definitely bipedal.
Yeah, something about that just seems, I don't know, blissful. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You're just having a good time. There are no stakes. Worst case scenario is you never find Bigfoot.
That's the only case scenario. Are you still watching after that horse, Olivia?
Yeah.
That's still like a daily.
Victor's helping me because
Well, yeah.
it's getting difficult to bend over and lift heavy things and
Yeah, I'll be right there, and then she'll like painstakingly reach down to grab something. I'm like, I'm right here. I could have gotten that for you.
And what's so offensive about being a horse girl? I don't know.
I feel like it either means that you like are like a person who like goes to like horse shows and like does horse showing, or you're like the girl who was so obsessed with horses and like galloped around at recess. And I don't think I'm either of those things. It's not that there's anything wrong with either of that. It's just that I don't want to be misperceived here. I just like animals. I like horses. I like most mammals and reptiles too. I like reptiles. How do you guys feel about reptiles? Let's talk about something else.
No, this is good. We're clearing the air. We're clearing the Bigfoot horse air.
Olivia's the kind of horse girl that... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I said we still have yet to find my thing that I'm defensive about, but it's there.
Right.
We'll stumble across it.
Is it a vegan thing?
I mean,
Is that it?
Yeah, I could see myself getting defensive in an argument about that. I try not to though, because it's already such a stereotype.
What kind of horse girl am I, Victor?
Yeah, so Olivia's the kind of horse girl that she was standing naked in a field under the moonlight. And this horse emerged from the shadows.
Is this a true
and their
story?
eyes met.
Isn't that the final scene of the movie Horse Girl?
The horse emerged from the shadows. Their eyes met. Their buttholes touched. And they were bonded forever.
Is this a dream?
She didn't choose this life.
Is this the movie Avatar?
This is a new segment on Young and the Restless called Guess the Bit.
But reptiles.
For sure thought you were going to segue into a dream, but no, let's talk about reptiles.
I am. I had another alligator baby dream,
Oh,
which I thought might be an interesting thing to touch on.
yeah. Part dos.
So, in this dream, I was at school of sorts, some kind of school, I think college. And there was this group of girls that were like ballet dancers, and they invited me to like join them for a performance. And I don't think I had ever I wasn't a dancer or anything, but so like I was brought into this group of girls, and they were like doing my makeup and stuff, and like they were being nice, but I got the vibe that they were like being nice, but like that it was a joke or something. Like they didn't actually want to be nice to me.
Mean girls.
Yeah. And then we were rehearsing, and I like improvised this dance that was like, it was like a narrative dance about like the process of learning to do things and like the struggle of like getting over hurdles as you like get better and better at a skill or whatever. So it was something like that, and it was like good. It was like pretty good, you know. And they didn't like that. So then when it was time to do the performance, they like didn't want me to go out and do the thing because I think they were hoping I was going to embarrass myself, and I like wasn't going to if I did the dance that I just came up with. And so they like sent someone else out with me, and then like I was confused about what was happening because I thought I was doing the thing that I just improvised, and so I kind of like ruined their performance. But then like there was like a judge there or something, and she like asked me to do it again, and she like made everyone else leave the stage, had me do the dance by myself. I killed it. And then at the end of the dance, I like looked down at my belly, and like I could feel the baby moving in there. And I saw on my belly, I saw like the outline of the baby. Like I could see every like edge of the baby, and it was a baby alligator.
Oh.
And then the last thing I remember is she wanted me to do it again, but I was like out of breath and I felt like the baby was like in distress or like upset. And I was like kind of torn, like feeling like I needed to do it again, but that I shouldn't because of the baby.
Is that the whole dream?
Yep.
Okay, so I got a whole bunch of symbols pulled up here. You want to start with symbols, or do you want to start somewhere else? First impressions. How you feeling?
Compare and contrast to your last alligator dream that we did on the pod. I do think it's interesting that the first time we talked about you and alligators in the episode Alligator Show, I forget what number it was, but that was a dream, if I remember correctly, about you considering having kids. And now
Yeah, that was a pre-pregnancy dream.
Yeah, so now, like, I'm interested to see the through line.
Yeah.
And what alligators mean to you pre-decision and in the midst of going through with the decision.
Yeah.
That was also a performance dream.
It was on a stage.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
That's true, yeah.
No.
That's weird.
Except that time it was Victor was playing on the stage, right? And this time you...
Yeah, but he was just playing in between alligators.
Oh, right. The show was about alligators. Victor was featuring for alligators.
Yeah. You were like the hype man for the next alligator performance.
It's not a bad gig.
Yeah.
I would take that opening gig.
Yeah, alligators have come up a few times, and if I remember correctly, they're like about fear, right?
Yeah. Let's look at the alligator entry.
It's interesting that like it's become like a baby thing, and I've also had that in my head now, like for a while, that
Right.
like that my baby is an alligator.
And a Bigfoot.
Yeah, it could. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's me. Everything's a Bigfoot and me.
You're a Bigfoot guy.
Yeah. That's right.
He's a Bigfoot guy.
Mm-hmm. Everything's really... There's two kinds of things in this world. There's Bigfoots and there's El Chupacabras.
Well, don't forget about Loch Ness Monsters.
There are Loch Ness monsters, yeah. Okay, so to dream of an alligator represents a situation in your life that you feel is dangerous. Feeling that a problem has rocked your sense of balance or safety. Feeling shaken by something or struggling to contain a problem. An alligator may also reflect a powerful fear you have. An alligator may be a sign that you need to put more effort into confronting your fears or speak to someone about your problems.
The alligators go to therapy. That's right.
Ah, yes, the alligator is therapy. It could just be you've made the association between the alligator and like the baby, and so it's just representative of the baby, but I'll keep going down the alligator track. An alligator may reflect the danger you feel from a job layoff, argument, or interpersonal problem. It may also reflect the threat of loss or feeling that a crisis may be at hand. And then there's negative alligator, which it wasn't. Eating alligator, blue alligator.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously I'm nervous about entering parenthood. That feels like a scary thing. It's exciting, but it's also, like, scary, you know? I definitely have, like, fears about it, but I'm interested in ballet, too.
Yeah. So we've got ballet, ballerina, mean dancing, judge.
Mean dance? Oh, okay.
And,
two separate
mean
entries.
dancing.
Mean dancing,
You know,
and stage.
like in Step Up.
So ballet. To dream of the ballet represents a situation that requires perfection or not making any mistakes. A strong focus on remaining balanced or away from trouble. You may be confronting an unforgiving problem that requires your total dedication. Well, that feels right.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's ballerina. Because the ballerinas were the main thing, right? More than the ballet.
Yeah.
I guess you were dancing. Were you doing ballet?
I would say that it was like,
You made it sound like
I feel like
interpretive
I
dance.
I think it was more like modern dance, if I'm to categorize it. But I
You said
remember seeing,
narrative dance was the word you used, I think.
yeah, and I think it was more like modern dance, if I'm to put it into like an actual dance style. But I did see point shoes, so that is why I initially went with ballet.
Do you have any history
There-
with dance?
Nah.
No.
I mean, I think I did like ballet class as like a toddler,
Right.
but everyone did that. So no, I'm actually quite bad at dancing. Not my thing.
But you felt like you were crushing it in the dream.
Oh yeah, no, it was so good.
No, that's interesting.
It was like, and it was like deep too.
It reminded me of one dream I had like a while back where I was like dancing like on an Irish cliffside, like this beautiful like backdrop of the sea, and it was just a very scenic dream, and I was just like doing this epic dance that I was like, I remember it being like a really awe-inspiring dream where I was like king of the world, and I'm not a dancer. I have no like even like passing interest in dance. So
Were you
like
doing like Irish step dance?
no, it felt kind of like what you're describing. Like it was very
Oh, yeah.
very big, sweeping, kind of like almost like superhero movements. Like I could jump and spin, and it just felt very expressive and very I don't know. I guess I'm sharing this to see if there's some common ground, because maybe this is like a common dream for people to have under certain circumstances.
Yeah, and I remember specifically that the dream or the dance was telling the story of like trial and error, and like it like started off of like movements that were like representative of trying and failing and like slowly incrementally getting better until you like are masterful at something.
Sounds like a concept.
Which feels important.
Yeah, it sounds like a concept that's probably been on your mind a lot. And I mean, you have brought this concept up on the podcast a lot.
It's the consciousness continuum.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, I wonder.
Well, all right, let's read ballerina. To dream of a ballerina represents an aspect of your personality that is a perfect example of stability, balance, and grace. Moving through obstacles effortlessly. Perfect example of never being in trouble, feelings about nothing getting you back, or that nothing is losing as long as you don't do anything stupid. Never noticing jealousy while you gracefully accept yourself the way you are. Poise and balance in your life. Did you have a thought?
Oh, just that I can't relate to any of that at all.
I can jump straight to negatively if you want, since it was they were like mean girl ballerinas.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know, like I saw point shoes, but I wouldn't say like that they totally felt like ballerinas. They definitely were dancers, but we could hear ballerina too. I'd also be curious to see how it differs from like the dancer entry.
Negatively dreaming about a ballerina represents concerns with losing balance or stability in your waking life.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Keeping yourself away from a problem. Concerns that discipline or structure is not strong enough. Showing off being a perfect example balanced to the other. Showing off being a perfect example balanced to other people. I don't know. Are you being subjected to disciplinary actions requiring you to stay a balanced individual? Feelings about being unable to obtain or measure up to other ideals. A perfect example of a stability that is both innocent and vulnerable.
Okay.
Feeling that you don't need to be protected while being an expert that never loses.
Stability that's both innocent and vulnerable.
What
Is
does
that what
bring
is that
up for
said?
you? Yeah.
Well, all of that felt like just like the pressure I'm putting on myself as like a new parent, right?
Well, innocent and vulnerable certainly seems to describe a baby.
Right. And like that feels hard for me too. Like for me to engage in that way feels difficult and is something that I'm talking to my therapist about.
Wait,
a lot.
to engage in what way? Or what do you mean?
Just that like I have a hard time being vulnerable in certain situations. We talked about this a little bit last week, but like I'm comfortable with like safe people and safe places and stuff, and like
and however many listeners we have,
right? Because that's all hypothetical, and I can pretend like there are none.
There might be,
but there's not none, but
I hope so.
Yeah. But like if they started talking to me, if they wanted to talk to me about my problems, I'd be like, oh, I feel very seen right now.
If you think you're the one listener of this podcast, write into thejungandtherestlesspod at Gmail. And if you're the only email we get, we'll talk to you as if you're part of the gang.
We'll invite you on.
Yeah.
But like, I guess just like becoming a parent and having a kid around is inherently vulnerable. And I feel comfortable with that, like in privacy, I guess. I don't know. The thing that's coming up for me is like, I feel like I'm going to have a hard time with that around my family, like, and around other people that I like don't feel as comfortable around sometimes. I don't think I'm going to get into that much more than that. That's the level I'm going to go with that right now.
I mean, you're touching on stuff that you have talked about so far.
Yeah.
So it's not a new wound that you're opening or anything. Sounds like, unless you're holding back even more. But
The last sentence of the negative ballerina paragraph, I think, kind of sums it up nicely. It says, feeling stressed out or annoyed at needing to be perfectly behaved, safe, or disciplined for other people.
Yeah.
That plays into what you were just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely stresses me out.
And so if we look at it from that lens of like, kind of like a false niceness, it's like they're being nice to your face, but there's like an antagonistic thing there that might be connected to maybe how you feel, pressured or like being asked to do things you don't want to do or whatever. It's like on its face, it's friendly, but like it feels like a conflict.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I think in waking life, like, there's a few things I can point to about that like, I don't think they were intended that way, but like, yeah, there's been like a little bit of pressure around like baby stuff that like I feel like I have to like hold a boundary, and then it like stresses me out and makes me feel like it does make me feel like, well, like, why would that person put me in this position? That's like so unfair and rude of them. But like, realistically, it's okay for me to say no. Like, it's okay for me to hold that boundary. And I did do that. It's just like, then I get all worked up about it because I feel like I'm being a dick for holding my boundary. I don't know. Is that kind of what you mean?
Yeah. Or it's like, yes, that is what I mean. That kind of thing. And also like, maybe when someone asks about something or whatever, but you can tell that there's like a more like it's a conflict, right? Even if it's like friendly on its face, or it's no one's asking you to do anything, but they are, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or what they're asking of you is like socially normal, like,
well,
I mean, sorry if I've gotten lost, but you're still talking about the boundary of like people wanting to see the baby as soon as it's born?
Some of that, yeah. Like, well, for example, a family member texted us a picture of like their friend meeting their 1-day-old grandchild, and this family member was like, I'm not pressuring you. I just wanted you to see this beautiful picture of my friend getting to meet their 1-day-old grandchild. And there's no pressure at all. But I just think that I just wanted you to see this, because look at how important that was for this other person.
Right.
And it's like, okay, yeah, I hear you saying the words that there's no pressure, but this is like a very loaded message, and there is pressure there. And so yeah, that kind of thing has come up a little bit. And so it puts me in a state of feeling like I have to like defend my boundary. Like, it's not about setting the boundary as much as it's like, well, now you're on the other side of my boundary, like pushing on the walls and like testing it, right? And it puts me into like kind of a state of having to be on the defense, which I don't want to have to do that.
Right.
Especially if you've got like people pleasing tendencies that I think we both do. It's like someone just expressing a desire puts you in a place where it's like, man, well, I hate to be the one to tell this person no, they can't have the thing that they're telling me that they want.
Yeah.
And so like my impulse is usually like I want to say yes to things if someone expresses a need, even if it like wears me out and it's like hard to say no and stresses me out to say no, you know? And I will sometimes, but I don't like having to do it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and like this is really the first thing where I have like felt so strongly that it like outweighs the tendency I have to just give what people want.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's some cognitive dissonance there too. I mean, this is what I meant by like the social normalcy of it. Like I think it's granted I don't have any kids and I haven't had a lot of friends that did have kids. My memories of people having kids are like my relatives whose kids are like 12 now. So they may even be outdated memories, but as far as I can tell, and this is sort of reinforced by the pressure that people are putting on you with messages like this, it's pretty normal societally to have people over and hold the baby, and it's like that whole rigmarole is like pretty universal or ubiquitous, it seems, but it's not for everybody. And it's maybe not even like a good idea in general. I don't know. I get it's different styles of approaching the situation, but I definitely feel like as an introvert, I've run up against that in smaller ways, in like little microcosms where it's like the social contract or the way things go, the social architecture is set up in a way that does not gel with me, and it's really hard.
Yeah.
Whether you have people pleasing tendencies or not, it's really hard to go against the grain.
Yeah. Well, and like I know I've like expressed this before, but like I don't know. I just like to really emphasize what it is for me. Like the idea of having just birthed a child and like dealing with like breastfeeding and like
there's gonna be so
like
much going on,
bleeding and like needing help to the bathroom and like in the bathroom and like, oh my God.
Yeah,
like
you and Victor are going to be doing some of the most intimate shit you've ever.
That is the last time that I want to see anybody but Victor. Like it makes me cringe thinking about somebody like even like my immediate family, like just like popping into the room while I'm feeling that way. Like while I have just gone through this whole ordeal, like I just don't want to see anyone. And like, yeah, maybe that's an introvert thing. Maybe it's a therapy thing, but like, it's like a mental health thing for me. Like, it's just like, I'm not willing to put myself in that position that feels really like unsafe and uncomfortable for me. And I'm not willing to do it. And the other thing that is like also a big factor is that like, it's going to be the middle of like cold and flu season. I just like I'm going to be worried about someone giving our like infant with no immune system a cold that could like put them in the hospital, and like I would rather just like bunker down, heal, and figure out how to take care of an infant without people like popping in, you know? And I know that they're going to be so excited and they really want to like come over and they want to meet the baby. And I also like, I don't want to have to like defend that choice because it's so like, it's so important to me. And I just know that I'm going to feel like violated if people are like still trying to like push past that or like stopping by like hoping they can get a glimpse of the baby or whatever.
How much?
How did we get here?
Alligators.
Ballet.
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 Ballerina.
How-
Negative ballerina.
How much do you think of that? How much of that do you think is heritage? Like when it comes to, because you would think maybe like, and I don't even know who these people are that you're talking about. They might want to stop by, but like, how many of them have had kids and have gone through the same thing? And you would think know what it's like, but maybe they had to go through like a similar pressure and they caved in and they
I
had to
think
deal with
people
people
just-
coming over and maybe their mentality is like, well, if I had to do it, that's just the way it is. And
Yeah. I think that it's a generational thing. I think people used to just think, oh, well, everyone comes into your hospital room while you're bleeding and like leaking milk and like they all meet the baby and then people like stop by and bring you food and hold your baby. And it's like,
yeah, and they're like, yeah,
that's just what you do.
that sucked, but who are you to change it? Like,
Right. Right. Or maybe they're okay with it. Some people are okay with it.
The last sentence says here, feeling that you don't need to be protected while being an expert that never loses, feeling stressed out or annoyed at needing to be perfectly behaved, safe, or disciplined for other people. So I
Okay,
think
yeah.
I think mostly what we're getting at is like a sense of needing to be perfect or like having all your shit figured out in the next couple of months to deal with like taking care of a baby, and then also to be on top of like some of this like existing social stuff that needs to be handled a particular way, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that feels like that could be part of this for sure.
And so like, you have these ballerinas that set you up for failure, right? They like want you to embarrass yourself and they're there to like make you suffer, right? And then you kind of take everybody by surprise and you actually nail it, right? You actually really do exactly what you need to do. And then they keep trying to sabotage you, but you're so good that it shines through and the judge is like, wait, no, I can tell even with all this like nonsense, I can tell you got real talent. You come back here,
You
show
got
me what you
something,
got.
kid.
Yeah, you got it. You got star power. Which I think speaks to maybe like a confidence you have that we're gonna get through all this,
Yeah, I do feel like we are being very intentional about the choices we're making and how we're approaching things. And I feel good about all of the decisions we've made. And I think the last piece of this dream for me would be that after I did the dance for the judge, my alligator baby was like in distress, like wiggling around, and I like wasn't sure if I should do the dance again like the judge asked or if I needed to like stop.
I thought you made it sound like you for sure weren't going to do the dance again.
I don't think I was, but like it just ended with like I saw the outline of the alligator in my abdomen and I felt it moving around and it felt like I was like out of breath and like that was stressing out the baby.
So just checking through these entries, it says to dream of dancing by yourself represents happiness. You're feeling good about a situation working out the way you want it to, success or life working out for you, a sense of exhilaration. And it sounds like you were experiencing that kind of as you were doing it, right? It was like success and
well, that's what the dance was about too. It was like about it was a success story.
Yeah. So directly connected here, which is interesting. So like if the dance is so positive, it's interesting that it like caused distress or harm to the alligator baby.
Maybe that's just about like, I don't know, you doing this metaphorical dance on your own terms and knowing where the limits are.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe that was a moment that was like someone else was asking me to do something for them, and I was making the call of, I don't think that's the best thing for the baby. That's what that situation felt like. It felt like the judge wanted to see me dance again.
But it wasn't about being judged.
Right. It was that, like, I noticed, I did feel like some internal conflict though. Like I felt like, oh, but what do I do? The baby is like in distress.
But it sounds like this dream is about that internal conflict, right?
Yeah.
Like your personal decisions and boundaries versus expectations.
Yeah.
Like if I had to pitch one phrase to summarize what this dream seems to be about.
Yeah. Yeah. And just another thought, it didn't feel like the dance was like bad for the baby. It felt like I was out of breath and winded, and like I had exerted myself and that I needed to take a break for the baby. It wasn't that the dance was bad. It was just that, like,
Gotcha.
I needed to not do it again right then.
We know that, like, the impulse to be perfect before the baby gets here, or to be perfect for the baby, is like not realistic, right? It's like a thing that's kicking in that's going to drive you to work on some stuff, but like you are not going to achieve perfection in any way before the baby gets here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm so disappointed in you. No, yeah, but it's like that is useful, like if you can use it to motivate you a little bit, but there does come a point where that's going to cause you so much stress and exhaustion and burnout that it gets in the way of doing what we need to do to take care of the baby, right?
Yeah.
It's like
yeah, that makes sense.
Needing to like being present for the baby and taking care of yourself and taking a breath is more important than doing this whole like social life dance that of like being perfect in all of these ways, that a lot of which have to do with like external opinions and external validation of like what you should be doing and how to be the perfect parent and how to be the perfect daughter that is having a baby, and how to be the perfect sister or whatever else is in your head,
Yeah.
And like you were saying in the episode of ours that I was just listening to today, so much of being a parent is just stuff you can't prepare for.
Yeah.
That I'm just quoting you and your research. That's
Mm-hmm.
so much of it is living in the moment and just not being prepared for the thing that's going to happen. So it stands to reason that the best thing you can do if you can't prepare for it is to just be healthy and able to respond.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's something that I like struggle with, is like wanting to make the perfect decision for everything, even little things, like to a point where it like prevents me from action. And I get stuck in the decision making process, and because it's like it has to be the perfect decision, but like I think that's definitely, that's not gonna work with a baby. You kind of just have to like take care of it, do what feels right.
Yeah, I don't know how you're doing it. I'm so indecisive. I once spent like an hour and a half in a Ross because I was hung up on cost versus thread count when it came to sheets for the bed.
That's me. That I will
Paralyzed
do that kind of thing
with indecision.
Yeah.
Option paralysis.
You should have seen me like planning our honeymoon. It was like
Yeah, you guys were talking about that.
That was the hardest thing.
Somehow the most like chill Victor's ever been.
Yeah, Victor's chill on vacation. He's like, hey, yeah, let's just
He understands what
do
vacation's
whatever.
for.
And I'm like, we need to maximize our time here.
Let me read this last entry, the stage entry, because I do think it's relevant. To dream that you are on a stage represents a presentation of yourself to others. How your beliefs, ideas, or attitude is being shown to others. you or someone else that is on the stage of life or the current center of attention. An area of our life or an aspect of ourself that is being prominently watched by others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what being pregnant is.
Yeah.
That's pretty devastatingly poetic for the Dream Bible. For the grammatic error-ridden Dream Bible.
Well, and like being pregnant is like that. First of all, it is totally like that. People just like stare at you when you walk by. It's weird. But like having a newborn baby is going to be like way more than that. And everyone wants in on that. Everyone wants to like witness
The miracle of life.
Yeah. And they always say they want to see it while it's fresh.
That's
which
weird.
That's disgusting.
Isn't that fucking weird?
It's not a croissant.
Get your own miracle of life.
Like, still smells like the inside of me. What?
Ugh,
Get out of here.
fucking weirdo.
Like, I feel in that position, like hypothetically, I feel exploited a little bit. It feels really intrusive, and it's like, I just kind of want that time for me and for us as a family. And yeah, I'm like really uncomfortable with being like, yeah, like perceived in that state, I guess.
Yeah.
And in general, don't perceive me, people. Stop perceiving me.
You know what I think? I think you're just maybe not playful enough.
Yeah, I'm a real stick in the mud.
I think you need to experiment with some parallel play. Thank you for listening to The Young and the Restless.
You can follow us on social media at The Jung and the Restless Pod and submit your dreams for interpretation to The Jung and the Restless Pod at Gmail.
And as we always say, you know what they say about Bigfoot? Big hand.
Picture a tiger